Hey everybody, so if anybody out there watch or follow the channel Redacted on YouTube, they just came out with an explosive video 2 days ago that I want to share with you guys. It was about a 48 minute clip, but I'm only going to share about 10 minutes of it with you guys to just get a glimpse of what it is, and I want you guys to check out his channel and watch the full-length video. It is some mind-blowing things, and it's gotten to the point where as you're watching it, you're like, what the hell is happening to this world? We have way more evil people in this world than we assumed, and it's gonna make people maybe be afraid to watch this and to learn this, to understand this, to accept it, to believe it. I personally, after watching it, I am more inclined to believe it just because it's making me put, like I mentioned in other videos, when you investigate certain things, you see everything as in a bunch of puzzle pieces scattered everywhere. And you have to slowly pick up the pieces and put them together to see the big picture of what is happening, what is going on. Well, with this is a huge, huge puzzle piece that could be added to other things that are happening in America. In regards to MK Ultra, COVID-19, 9/11, surprisingly. I mean, there's certain things that after watching this, I was like, this is getting pretty damn crazy. We need more good people to come out here and start investigating. We need more independent journalists to come out in order to tackle so much corruption that has happened and is presently happening in America today. We have no choice. We, the people, need to step up. We need way more independent journalists to come out. We can't have Cam Higbees and Nick Shirley and just a few people here and there, left and right, Candace Owens. We need way more people. We may have a pretty big government, but the majority of the people in this country, especially the sleeper cells of good people like the military veterans like myself, we need to start coming out and being independent journalists and figuring out corruption and provide the truth to the American people to expose these corrupt, disgusting people that are ruining this country.
Well, it turns out Havana syndrome is real, and our next guest has been documenting it for years. But then after the COVID vaccine rolled out, suddenly he started noticing incredible similarities, increases in complaints coming forward that 100% were identical to what he was seeing with Havana syndrome. He's featured in a new documentary that might be the most mind-blowing report we've ever seen on the COVID vaccine. It looks at the shots in our bodies almost acting as transmitters, broadcasting signals. And one of the most eye-opening scenes from the trailer shows signals being received, and then the camera pans back and you realize the signals are coming from underground, 6 feet underground, in the corpses in the graveyard. People that had taken the shot, now dead, but still sending a signal. Watch.
For those of you who don't know, Havana syndrome, also known as anomalous health incidents, AHIs, is a disputed medical condition starting in 2016 in about a dozen overseas locations. U.S. and Canadian government officials and their families reported symptoms associated with the perceived localized loud sound. The symptoms lasted for months and included disabling cognitive problems, balance problems, dizziness, insomnia, and headaches. Havana syndrome is not officially recognized as a disease by the medical community. Now, when I read that, the first thing that I thought of was what happened when we captured Maduro from Venezuela. The reports came out that we had helicopters drop in with drones, and we somehow used some sort of technology where we shot some type of radio frequency that disabled a lot of the guards and every person that was at this military base where Maduro was at. And it made everybody start to vomit, get sick and dizzy, cognitive, all these things that it says. Look at this. A number of government and non-government agencies have conducted investigations into AHIs, including the State Department, Center of Disease Control, Department of Defense, the CIA. All these different intelligence agencies were investigating this. I'm almost inclined to believe that maybe there's certain people that are corrupted in these agencies that are pushing through this crazy way of weaponizing the people in this world. And this gentleman is about to explain how.
In late October,
is critical because this is what convinces people to accept, to legitimize
Upload complete.
total biometric surveillance.
It's always the data. It's the crack cocaine of Silicon Valley. We are already living inside the architecture of totalitarianism.
We need not just to monitor people, we need to monitor what's happening under their skin.
I know my husband is not vaccinating people and putting a microchip in their arm because that technology doesn't even exist and he's never uttered the words out of his mouth, so.
That's not convincing.
Microchips and tracking devices are embedded in the vaccine. Is this accurate?
We have 6 MAC addresses that are pulsing Bluetooth signals, and all we are is surrounded by tombstones.
So can someone explain to me why we're getting EMF emissions off a grave inside of a Faraday cage, please?
So we've seen the reports of...
And listen, I'm not trying to pause so much, but I want to quickly say that this isn't a crazy idea of putting chips in the human body. We already know that Elon Musk with Neuralink is already doing that. They've already had success rates on certain patients that are putting chips in their brains to help them be able to control computers with their minds. And this is happening. This is real. If you guys just want to research it, do it. But this is not too far-fetched in everything that's about to be said in this clip. Now, I'm going to try not to say anything else.
Individuals having unlicensed MAC addresses post-vaccination. I've seen evidence of that myself.
one of the requirements that it just your data, your location, your privacy, it's gone. If you took the vaccine, you are the router. You are a communication device.
Jesse Beltran is a TSCM certified investigator, one of the nation's leading specialists in anomalous frequency analysis and Havana syndrome related phenomenon for over 20 years. Of course, this has led him to the COVID vaccine. And Jesse joins us now. Thank you so much for being here, Jesse. Welcome.
What he's about to say is crazy.
Well, thank you, Clayton, and thank you for the opportunity. It's important that we disseminate this information to basically the general population, because normally I deal with people who are symptomatic and having complaints. And recently, within our research, and you just touched a little bit upon it, we're finding that even those who are not symptomatic post-jab are now coming up positive in where we detect anomalous RF signals and or nonlinear junction semiconductor materials in these very specific focal areas around the human body.
And we have some video here of your team, you specifically looking at and examining the human body. Here's one individual where you have some sort of a device on someone's head. This person obviously still alive. What are you seeing? Like what is actually happening when you're holding up this transmitter to the human head and different parts of the body?
Yeah, what I'm actually, there's two devices. One is an RF detector. It's a general frequency detector where we'll scan the human person and see if we get a detection. The manufacturer has this, the accuracy down to one millionth of a millimeter as far as accuracy. So we can attenuate it down because we live in a wireless society, so that we have to be really, really close to an emission. Then the other device that you saw in the documentary is a nonlinear junction detector. These things are highly sensitive, very expensive. This piece of equipment here is around $22,000 US.
Damn.
And what it was designed to do is to find rust initially in airplanes. And what they found serendipitously is that it will also locate circuitry or semiconductor material, silicon-based, which is basically in all circuitry, down to very, very minute sizes.
They told you America invented slavery. They told you the Indians were peaceful.
And what we were doing is doing RF scanning around those victims who were symptomatic initially, and then coming with a nonlinear junction detection because we felt, our hypothesis was, those who were suffering from the Havana syndrome or anomalous health incidences is the new acronym, that there was something unique within that person that was allowing them to receive these signals. And what the nonlinear junction detection was detecting is positive results for semiconductor materials or semiconductors in these people, which ultimately led to surgical removal of biosensors. One of my earliest cases is the Bonnie Kellerby case.
This man and this woman here are now my family. And without John supporting Bonnie through this, remember, he thought she was crazy. But we were able to show proof on this journey that she wasn't. Okay?
He did.
And think about their relationship. This can happen to any one of you. Okay? And how would you feel if you let the love of your life go because someone synthetically induced mental illness? Thank you. Okay. You want to say anything? You want to say anything? Thank you, sweetie.
I'll just, this started 22 years ago for us. She was implanted 22 years ago. So
22 years.
That was very difficult. Yeah. No. And it was very difficult. The 7 years before we met Jesse, it was hell, basically, because I didn't trust what she was saying, didn't trust what she was acting. Take her to the hospital. They put her in 72-hour lockup because they say that, it's schizophrenia. That's what they use against you. It's not fair. It's a horrible thing, and we're lucky we made it through it today. So anyway, we got 3 inserts. We went through everything. I take her to wherever it's necessary to get help, and we've got some surgical removal. She's got 2 implants still that are very bad, that aren't released yet. We're hoping that this new doctor will help us to get them out. And then maybe we can have our life come back. But our life has not been normal. We should be enjoying our retirement, but it's very difficult to do that when she's tortured 24/7 with voice and torment. It's a horrible thing. It's unbelievable, actually. So anyway, sorry. Very emotional. Jesse, thank you.
They removed 3 biosensors out of her. And
Damn.
I asked this question to everyone out there. How many of you out there have someone in your family, a friend, or know of someone who has mental illness? And what if that mental illness was synthetically induced? Okay? How would you feel if this was done to a loved one, to you, or to a close friend? And the Bonnie Kellerby case really touches home on that. I was invited down in Santa Monica, California to do a presentation in front of Secretary of State's RFK support group. They raised a lot of money for his campaign. And they asked me to do a presentation about this topic. And to my surprise, the Kellerbys showed up there. And so we showed and demonstrated these biosensors that were taken out of her. And she stood up, and Mr. Kellerby was a very proud man, stood up, and he expresses he almost lost the love of his life because he thought she was crazy. In fact, Dr. Call called me and said, Jesse, can you please give this couple a call? I know that Bonnie's telling the truth. Can you please talk to him? And I said, sure. So I gave him a call. And when we held our first meeting in Sacramento, California, when I was just trying to find out how many victims are truly out there, and I expected a handful, and when we disseminated it out to the community, I had 100 people show up.
Damn.
Mr. Kellerby was there. And everyone in that room, was standing room only, had the very same complaints with very little deviation. And Mr. Kellerby stood up and he said, I almost lost the love of my life, but I can no longer discard her as being crazy because each and every one of you have expressed the same complaints as her. And he goes at that RFK presentation that I was at, and he said, we should be enjoying in retirement. You know, they're making individuals like my wife look like they're crazy and diagnosing them with schizophrenia, force institutionalizing them, force medicating them, and further re-victimizing them. Bonnie Kellerby never consented for those biosensors to be implanted in her body. Those were done non-consensually.
Wait for it.
And what may surprise you, if I asked you, is this legal to do in the United States? And I would come back and say, right now, it is currently absolutely legal to do to you without your consent. In 2016, President Obama instituted the 21st Century Cures Act. And it was sold to the American citizens as a way to fight the opioid epidemic and crisis that we were having here in the United States. But hidden in it was a section called 3024. And in section 3024, the exact language is this: it is legal to experiment on U.S. citizens without their consent as long as it does not exceed minimal risk criteria. Then the question is, what is minimal risk criteria? Nothing that doesn't happen in normal everyday life. And I would ask this: does death happen in normal everyday life? And they're further protected. If you are in an IRB and if you do a FOIA request to see if you are in an experiment, it is protected under national security protocol, so that data cannot be shared with you.
See?
And in 2024, the Biden administration extended it to cover private entities, private research institutions, and universities.
So I'm sorry. If you go in for like a doctor's visit or someone's going to give you a shot, because Obama instituted this, they could inject you with something you don't even know about?
Absolutely. It's perfectly legal to do. And you might be surprised. Yes.
Crazy.
I had a software engineer. Yeah. I have a software engineer who took his children to a dentist recently. And under the authorization, there is a section in there that their data will be shared with the federal government, law enforcement, NSA, and research institutions. Why does that need to be included? I thought it was absurd. I didn't believe them. Then I had another client who said, the NSA is collecting our data. I had to sign this. And they will allow me to show you redacted aspects of their signed forms. And it absolutely says that your data will be shared with the NSA. So why is this being done?
I'm sorry, like, I know that you live in this world, so this is probably normal to you, but take the kids to the dentist, you're just filling out your forms, your intake forms, just going to the dentist. You don't realize that the NSA, and this is not every dentist, but in certain situations, I guess, that your information, your child might be injected with something and the NSA is going to be watching it and you have no recourse?
It is absolutely legal if you're a U.S. citizen currently to experiment on this without consent. This is why we're out here educating the population. We have a URL called stop3024.com, And we're asking for everyone to sign that. We would have expected we'd have 1 million signatures by now, but we don't. But the reality is that this is happening right now before our very eyes. And we can go deep down the rabbit hole about what this technology does. Back in 1994, November of 1994, there was a 21st Century Cures Act. It was a declassified document.
And listen, there's so much more that he says that even gets crazier to make you think that some things that are related to this is what happened on 9/11, what happened with COVID. I mean, so many situations that have gone in this country it's slowly starting to come together with all these different puzzle pieces, like I said in the beginning of the video. And it's worth looking into. I want everybody to check this out. Just read into it. You don't have to go too deep down a rabbit hole just to understand what is happening, what has happened, what is going on. And like the gentleman said, if you know somebody that has a serious illness, I mean, I would have that person, try to get them connected with this gentleman and figuring out if there was something that was injected or put in that person's body to basically manipulate the way they are as a human person, as a human being, into acting crazy or being crazy, really altering the mind. I mean, I would do it in a heartbeat. I would do that in a heartbeat. And let me know what you guys think about this. I'm going to leave the full video in the description below. That way you guys can check out Redacted. I encourage you guys to subscribe to him. I mean, he's finding a lot of information. The way he does his information, it reminds me of Candace Owens, of how she's really asking questions, finding people that know, that are experts on these things, that have been trying to push this out to the masses and the majority of the American people, to basically give them a warning and having them understand what is going on behind the curtains that the government or corruption is hiding from us. I mean, you can call it a conspiracy theorist, or you can just ask questions to make your determination if this is true or false. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments below. Like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Till next time, peace out, everybody. This one's for Charlie.